I'm Asmodeus, from the Strange and Unusual podcast, a proud member of the GonnaGeek network, just like the show you're listening to now. The opinions expressed are those of each individual host. Check out all the other podcasts at GonnaGeekNetwork.com, and get ready because geekiness begins in 3, 2, 1.
This is it. The part of your week where you get to put your headphones on, relax, and listen to a bunch of geeks geek out about geeky things. They're passionate.
Did you know Magic Mike XXL is actually on the top 25 list of this year's best movie?
They're witty.
He loves him some Katy Perry because she kissed a girl and she liked it.
They're crazy.
I like Nickelback personally, but, I'm the fuddy-duddy who likes episode 1.
And sometimes I leave you wondering, what the f***?
I'm pretty sure that here we were starting the hashtag movement, bring back Slave Ferrell.
Welcome to the GonnaGeek.com podcast.
Hello and welcome to episode 150 of the official GonnaGeek.com podcast. My name is Stephen Jondrew, and with me today is Christopher... I got nothing
Columbus.
funny, Ferrell. Christopher Columbus. Yes, Christopher Columbus Ferrell. That's who we have.
I'm actually the reincarnated ghost of Christopher Columbus.
Are you on the Nina, the Pinta, or the Santa Maria?
I'm on none. The Scientologist came and whisked me away. I'm on the SS Tom Cruise.
SS, I'm going to space.
We also have with us
Spice.
the one and only Stargate fantasy in your mind, Stargate Pioneer.
That's the best places to have fantasies, is in your mind, because anywhere else and it doesn't really do anything for you. So fantasy in your mind.
That's
You
absolutely
know who else
true.
is here? You know who else is here? Jesus.
Okay, and finally, that is true, actually. We do have our Jesus. We have JS, Dr. JS, returning back this week. It has been a lonely month without you, JS, and we want you to know that we got all sorts of hate mail written to us and not you while you were away.
Well, that's how it's supposed to be, right? I mean,
You were the one that wanted hate mail.
everything I say is true.
By the way, yeah, episode 150, which, funny enough, corresponds with a pretty interesting live event tonight, which we thank you for ditching that live event and coming over to see episode 150 of the GonnaGeek.com podcast. Which event is that there, Chris?
Oh, it's Sony's E3 press conference, I believe, is going on right now.
Yeah, but that's okay, because, quite honestly, we are better than them, and you can find us and interact with us at geeks.live every Monday at 8:45 p.m. Eastern Time. That's 5:45 p.m. Pacific for all you Pacific coasters like myself. You can find us on Facebook Live at facebook.com/GonnaGeek, as well on Channel 1 of Alpha Geek Radio, and I don't see the Sony E3 press conference on Channel 1 of Alpha Geek Radio, do you?
No, but it's probably on channel 1 of IGN.
I keep looking for the live stream on MySpace.
You know what? Unfortunately, I had that about to go, and then I got an email from MySpace that my password may have been compromised, and I'm too lazy to reset it. So there you go.
I thought you had LastPass.
All right, let's go ahead and get into the news. Let's do that. Chris may have mentioned that E3 is going on this week, but another thing that is going on this week is WWDC. That is the Apple Developer Conference. And today was the infamous keynote. This conference used to be the time that they announced iPhones, but about 3-4 years ago, they swapped that because they swapped the cycles. But still, a lot of interesting things usually provided during this week. And I'm going to go ahead. We do record this, as I mentioned, on Mondays. So I'm going to run down some of the interesting things that came out from today, which was, like I said, the keynote. And primarily, the Apple keynote was all about software changes. There was no hardware discussed or no hardware items released this year. Sometimes they've squeezed in a couple of devices here and there, but it was indeed all software this time, and updates to pretty much every iDevice that is under the sun. We started off with information about the iWatch. They're doing a bunch of really important things on that, making it work a heck of a lot better. Apps are going to be faster. They're going to work just quicker, bunch of things like that. Some extra features. There was one that really caught my eye that I thought was pretty neat, was the fact that when you do have the watch on, if you are in a situation that there's an emergency, there's now a way that you can trigger an emergency call, and it'll do a couple of things. Number one, it might try to call 911 for you, which at first glance you're like, okay, is that really that important? But what if you're in a country where you don't know what the equivalent to 911 is? So that's really cool. And the other thing too is you can have it set up so that it will send a broadcast to select contacts of your location. I thought that was a pretty neat thing.
Yeah, the 911 thing's cool as long as it knows what the emergency contact is for the region that you're in.
Yeah,
right.
That's true.
Because if it doesn't know what the emergency contact is, it's la poop, right? Because if it tries to dial 911 in the UK, it ain't gonna do poop.
Yeah. Fair enough. The other thing that is really good that I thought that was neat that came out of this year is, yes, they are changing. The OS X is gone bye-bye and say hello to macOS, but that's not the cool thing. They did do a couple updates to it, and the one that I thought is about time, now that they have the iWatch out and it's established, you will be able to unlock your Mac with your watch. I'm not sure if this is going to be an NFC thing or if it's going to be more of a remote program thing. I think it's probably the latter, but I think that will be a neat thing, as well as Siri. Siri is going to indeed be on macOS. I almost said OS X. So that's about time.
Can I put on my superior Android fanboy hat for a second?
Sure, go ahead.
Superior.
You've been able to unlock Chromebooks using your phone for like 2 years now, right? Based on proximity.
Hey, nobody ever said Apple was the fastest to implement features, and I definitely didn't. I just said that it's about time.
I think no one says that. I think Apple thinks they invent things like the Apple Pen, which is like 20 years behind. Apple acts like they invent things, but they don't really invent.
So I'll be honest, I was mostly trolling with that comment. It's pretty cool they're doing that. But in the effort of full disclosure here, perhaps we should disclose to our audience who is an Android user and who is the Apple users on this podcast. So that
I use an Apple phone.
Oh, you're so full of crap.
I love Apple.
I'm not. Here's the thing, though. I'm actually legitimately complimenting these things because I think that they're much needed things to really help the iWatch succeed. And I still stand by my philosophy that the more the Apple equivalent succeeds, the better it is for Android. It's just the way that it's been. And I think that the iWatch making these tweaks are going to definitely help just the general eyes on smartwatches. So I'm okay with these. The other thing that, of course, was confirmed was that Apple Pay Web is going to be a thing. So all of those rumors that you will be able to use Apple Pay via the web, yes, that is true. So it will be very interesting to see what their fee will be compared to like a PayPal fee, if they'll be on par. But I know like the Apple Store, the App Store, charges a pretty big fee that some people have been objected to. So I'm really interested to see what ends up coming of this. But again, I think that I think the more places that you can get these Apple features, the better that it will be.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I think the biggest thing they announced was the Siri thing, and I think that was okay.
Yeah.
Siri, and the other one is they actually are putting out an app to handle the HomeKit stuff now.
Yes.
So for home automation, that's something that it's so fragmented right now that if Apple can find a way to unite everyone and make it work properly, they're going to make a lot of progress there.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
And there was one other thing that I actually think, and you're going to at first think, really? You think that this is really cool? But I do. I legitimately think that this is a huge feature, and I've never seen the Android equivalent. It is a universal clipboard. So you copy something on your computer, you can paste it on your phone. I think that is
No.
I think that's a really
cool.
good idea.
That's
That is
cool.
pretty
Yeah,
cool, man.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I wish, you know what that reminds me of? You know, in movies when like you have a device and then another device and you like throw
Yeah,
things onto
exactly.
the other device. I want to do that. I can't wait to do that. Like to do woo, woo,
And audio listener, you should definitely go look at the YouTube because SP just did the best Minority Report impression that I've ever seen. It was incredible. I liked it.
I strive to entertain.
So SP, you are the lone wolf on this podcast using an iDevice, and like I said, I've got nothing to, like personally, I'm not the type of guy that sits there and trashes every iDevice. It's just not for me. You, on the other hand, love it, and I'm sure you're about to hold up your plethora of iDevices. What exactly do you think of all of this keynote today?
Got 5 iDevices in front of me right now, 2 of which are not hooked up. There are 3 that are.
It still work?
Yeah, they all still work. Matter of fact, I use.
No. That's not what I mean. I understand they turn on and stuff like that. My question is, has Apple locked your devices by upgrading items such as apps that do no longer run on your, such as YouTube?
I haven't tried YouTube on some of the older stuff lately. I was just going to say I use them for soundboards on various podcasts. So that is my use for them, and they work fine for that. I know that there are some basic apps that would work, comic book readers and so on and so forth. So they do have uses, and they do go by the wayside. But I also have a Motorola Droid, the original Motorola Droid.
Oh, that's
they
old.
go by the wayside too, JS. It just takes
That's
a
old.
little time.
Yeah, I'm just disappointed because I have I had an iPad when I gave it away. And last year or the year before that, I reached the point where I could no longer be on YouTube because my device was too old, which was very disappointing.
Well,
Sorry.
But here's the
That's-
thing, though. That was a 6-year-old device at that point in time. Are you really expecting it to still be supported first-gen hardware at that point?
I mean, it's YouTube.
But what happened is YouTube supported a different player. They went from using their Flash thing that Apple was converting an app to using HTML5, and they locked out that app so it wouldn't work on that. It was based off, was my understanding.
I mean, my only issue is they made the choice for me so that I couldn't complain that the item was running slow. You understand what I mean? Like I could have ran new YouTube. They made the choice to lock.
But the YouTube thing, my understanding was that was a Google thing that was no longer going to support that app because they had moved to a different version of the YouTube player. That was not Apple that pulled support.
What I mean-
It was Google that was no longer supporting that app.
Microsoft
But it was
did
no
it with
longer-
XP.
It was no longer working with. On the webpage either.
Right. It didn't work with the version of Safari that was on there either because Google pulled support for that version of the player. They phased it out, instituted a new player that was not supportable on the iPad 1.
Sure, I guess. Okay, so I don't know. I'm just very disappointed in that. That's all.
Yeah.
I don't know that that's a reasonable disappointment, though, when you're talking 6-year-old first-gen tablet hardware.
I mean, my Nexus 7 still works.
You're one of the lucky ones, then.
Yeah, I just held up mine on the video side of things because it is good for using for a video switcher for this podcast, and that is about it. I can't, if as soon as I put Facebook on there, no good. Doesn't work at all. Super slow. Same sort of things that you were just complaining about. To me, it's basically useless.
All right. I don't know what to tell you. Mine works okay. It's not the best tablet in the world, but it works okay.
But that's awesome, though, that you're still using it. And it's kind of like my iPad, right? I have a first generation iPad, and I'm using it in a very, very restricted capability. And in any way that you can use it, I think that that's great that they're still going strong. And I'm not just saying that to be Mr. Positive here, but let's be honest. This is the first generation iPad. iPad was mind blowing at the time with what they wanted to put in, and I am still using it in some cases. So really cool. But there's your WWDC roundup, and I want to give a special side plug here. If you find yourself looking for some coverage of these events, we've had him on here before. His name is Suncast. He, as we've mentioned before, he's part of the GFQ network, and they're really good at doing live coverage. Unfortunately, all of us here on the GonnaGeek podcast, we all do have different day jobs, and we do this as a hobby, so we're not able to usually cover these day events. But if you are looking for some commentary on these live events, check him out over there because he always adds fun wherever he is. And you can definitely find that out at gfqnetwork.com. And like they really need the plug from me, right, SP?
Everybody needs plugs.
I think that their vast amount of mattress purchasers and hair growth consumers, I think, are enough to keep that network in business for decades to come.
Well, you know what isn't a good business strategy? Giving away one of your top games for free. Isn't that right, Chris?
So I guess it was Thursday night, if I'm remembering my dates right. I come downstairs, it's time to do Starling Tribune, but before I go on there, I of course have to go on Twitter to see what's going on. And one of the Twitter accounts that I follow is Cheap Ass Gamer, which is basically a website / Twitter account that helps gamers find good deals on cheap games and software you might want to play. And the tweet I see is Fallout 4 for free on the Microsoft Marketplace. And I go, what? And I click the story and I open it up. I pull up the Fallout 4 entry on the Microsoft Marketplace, the Xbox Marketplace. It says $0.00. I hit the purchase button. It screws up. I hit refresh a couple times. It goes through the full digital version of the game with all the DLC. I've got it. I'm like, yes, this is great. I tell my good friend Stargate Pioneer about it. I go, SP, we can get Fallout 4 for free. So he downloads it also. After we're done with the Starling Tribune, I go upstairs, I fire up my Xbox, I'm like, Fallout 4 is here. I turn it on and I play for 5 minutes. By that I mean I load the game and go, okay, cool, it's working, and turn it off. I then proceed to go to work on Friday, and I'm reading the news and I see, this Fallout 4 thing wasn't actually a promotion or anything like that, despite the fact that some of the customer support reps had said it was a promotion. No. There was an issue on Xbox Live when they did some maintenance, and they accidentally put Fallout 4 on sale for $0.00. So here is what happened next. They revoked everyone's license who downloaded Fallout 4 for $0.00. And you know what? Ordinarily, you might be mad, but you stop and think about it and go, I signed that end user license agreement that I never read. And that end user license agreement says they can take that license away from me. So they were well within their rights to do it.
In Canada, that would be illegal.
Well, I'm sure it happened to people in Canada too.
You can complain.
Well, good luck.
Price protection plans.
But luckily enough, they did give me something for my wasted effort. I got $10 of credit in the Microsoft Marketplace, so I can buy DLC or Xbox content or whatever I want. So that's the takeaway, is they had to give up a little free to prevent themselves from giving away a lot for free.
They had to, because I'm sure people could complain. Wasted bandwidth.
Yeah.
Especially people who are on capped off data. You imagine they downloaded all the Fallout 4 stuff. That's probably about 60 gigs.
How would they know, right? That it's their fault, or you can't blame them.
Though, to be fair, that content is all still on my Xbox. I just don't have a valid license key to play it anymore.
Now, I want to ask here, because SP, I know that you got it too, and you even sent me a little screenshot or a little picture of you booting it up. How far did you get into it before this got revoked?
Yeah, we went through the intro scenes and then we shut it off because everybody was tired, and then went to work the next day, came back, and it was gone. And I was like, that's a bummer, but what are you going to do? I mean, it was free and I thought it was a great deal, and it didn't cost me anything but time and bandwidth, as you were saying, whatever. So, okay, whatever. I tried to pull one over on them and they pulled one over right back at me. Okay.
Yeah, I guess some people could probably complain, and that's why they probably gave you $10, because that bandwidth. Right. I mean, it's a 7 gig game, right?
Oh no, it's like 60.
Oh jeez.
Okay, sorry, my bad.
That's a lot
of
60.
bandwidth, man.
That's a factor of 10 basically. It's probably 60 to 70 when you factor in all of the DLC. And honestly, The fact that they fixed it, it doesn't really bum me out. I was kind of like, oh man, because I half expected they were going to do it. I was like, maybe they won't, and they'll just be like, oh, we can't afford this bad press before E3.
Yeah.
And they couldn't afford the bad press before E3, so they gave us all free money. And if you think about it, it's cheaper to give us all $10 than it is to pay Bethesda their share of whatever they'd get paid for selling digital copies of Fallout 4.
Now let's take a little moment here because yes, E3 is going on this week. Microsoft did do their E3 announcement today. I want to ask here, that as we heard through the news, they did announce a couple of new Xbones, and two of them. But do you think that maybe this is a little strategic? Because it's a long time that it took them to get it pulled down from being free and then also revoke the licenses. I don't know. To me, it seems like
it's less than a day.
It's a while.
Took time because they probably had to talk to their legal department. You technically pressed a purchase button, right? You didn't.
Yes.
You didn't accept a gift, so you've purchased a product just at $0. So there's probably, I know in Canada there's laws against stuff like that. Although the law is pretty obvious that it's clearly an error, so you'd probably lose. But still, I'm fairly certain they had to talk to a legal department.
Yeah,
you ain't calling your legal department at 9:00 at night on day X, because that's going to cost you a lot of money. You'll just wait till they show up the next morning.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'll agree with that, but I like to have the conspiracy theorist in me come out. Chris, you've taught me well.
Happy to help, boss.
All right. So speaking of numbers and sales and all that crazy happenings, SP, you're going to touch on something today, and then you're really going to get into it on a future episode.
I'm always ready to get into it on a future episode. So I was kind of curious as to what the status of X-Men Apocalypse was in the box office. And I was like, you know what? Let's go back and let's look at all of the comic book movies that have come out in 2016. So you're talking Captain America Civil War, Deadpool, Batman versus Superman, or as I like to call it, Superman versus Batman, Dawn of Justice, and X-Men Apocalypse, which is still really in its theater run. So this is early numbers, basically just a couple of weeks old. And I think it's starting to top off, but I would expect it to do a little bit more. So I looked at the worldwide box office. I looked at the domestic box office. I looked at their opening weekends in both domestic and worldwide. I looked at their production budget. I looked at the profit based on the production budget and then what they've earned worldwide. And then I did a little calculation of cost to profit ratio, basically taking how much money they spend into it versus how much money they actually got out of it. So let's go in order, chronological order this year. Deadpool was the first one to come out, and it opened to the 19th all-time domestic and 24th all-time worldwide opening weekend. And their worldwide number was $264 million, and domestic was $132 million. Worldwide, it made $774 million. Domestically, it made $363 million. Now, here's the rub with Deadpool that is just amazing. Its production budget, and I know we probably touched on it before, was a mere $58 million, which meant its gross profit was $716 million. Now, I say gross profit because I'm sure that there's somewhere on the order of $100 to $300 million of promotion budget stuffed into each and every one of these productions. But since we don't know that number, we'll just call that zero for all of them. So the gross profit was $716 million. And if you do the math, that comes up with 1,234% profit, which meant they put in $58 million and got out $716 million. That is a tremendous win, probably the biggest win in comic book movies ever. I haven't run all the numbers on that, and I don't know if I will, but that was just amazing. So the next one to come out was what I like to call Superman versus Batman, Dawn of Justice. came in with a tremendous opening weekend worldwide. The fourth all-time greatest opening weekend at $422 million. It was only the eighth all-time domestic, only the eighth all-time. You know how many movies there's been out? Eighth is pretty good at $166 million. Now, here's the thing. It only made $872 million. I've heard that they're going to do a rated R release to theaters, so that'll grow a little bit, but I don't see that growing that much. Domestically, it made $330 million. The production budget was $250 million, which is a lot of money for a production budget. It still made $622 million, but because the production budget was so high, it only got 249% cost to profit ratio. So less than 1,000% basically than Deadpool. Now comes along Marvel's big movie of the year, Captain America Civil War. This is the 12th all-time worldwide money-making box office movie at $1.143 billion.
Holy moly.
23rd all-time domestic, so it did better worldwide than it did domestically at $396 million. The opening weekend was the fifth all-time domestic at $179 million. The opening weekend was the 11th all-time worldwide at $379 million. Now, the production budget was the exact same as Dawn of Justice. It was $250 million, but since it made more money, it made $893 million versus Dawn of Justice $622 million. So the cost to profit ratio was about 100 more. It was 357% versus 249%. So we can see still that Deadpool has made the most percent, the cost to profit ratio. And out of the three movies, Civil War actually made the most money, and followed by Deadpool and then Dawn of Justice. Now, here's where it is kind of wonky right now, at least, because X-Men is still in the theaters. Now, I can tell you that this weekend, the profits went dramatically down. I don't know if that's just because it's summertime, nobody's going out to the movie, if it'll have any staying power or whatever. We do have a lot of movies coming up this summer. We have Independence Day Resurgence and so on and so forth. So let's just get to the numbers right now, get that out of the way. It opened the 108th, so 108th all-time domestic at only $65 million. In the worldwide, it was $166 million worldwide and 63rd all-time. So it's still earning money, but it is only 169th all-time worldwide at $475 million. That's the total worldwide box office right now. Domestically, it is 361st at $136 million. Now, the production budget was kind of in between, $179 million, so it wasn't as big as its Marvel or Warner Brothers counterparts, but the gross profit was only $297.9 million, and I have my doubts on whether that's going to cover the promotion on it or not, but we'll never know that. So again, the cost to profit ratio is only 167%. So cost to profit ratio, Deadpool, clearly the big winner. Overall moneymaker right now, Civil War, and I just don't see Apocalypse really getting any further than that. And then we've got more movies coming out this year. I'd like to revisit this at the end of the year. Suicide Squad, Doctor Strange, stuff like that. So these are just the 4 movies that have come out so far this year.
I do have a question for you.
Quest.
What, Deadpool? I've not heard of this yet.
Yes, I think if you just go to your Canadian theaters and you look for the Captain Canuck movie,
okay,
I think you'll find it.
All right.
I think you'll find it then. Yeah.
Oh, that was the one with Ryan Reynolds, right?
That's right. It was the proposal in a superhero movie.
It was we do like The Proposal. That's a good movie. Very good movie.
And I might add that my daughter, when she went to her boyfriend's this weekend, she took my compilation of X-Men movies, X-Men, X2. I told her to skip X3, but I think they'll watch that anyway. And then the Wolverine Origins movie, whatever. So she took all that. And what other movie did she take with her? My Green Lantern movie.
By the way, in the chat at geeks.live, we have people who are saying, it started off with Suncast saying that SP should do This Week in Movies. And then we ended up having Michelle say, with the math, SP Sexy, it scrolled, SP Sexy Math Movie Time. I like that title, SP Sexy Math Movie Time.
Oh,
It's
you made
hashtag.
SP's night.
Hashtag SP Sexy Math Movie Time.
Maybe you'll get verified if you do that, but
We could only hope.
we'll definitely revisit this in the future, but I'm surprised to hear such high praise of Deadpool. It's completely shocking to me.
So high praise movie-wise, money-wise, or what was the number one
I'm kidding.
romance
I'm totally
movie?
joking. It's not surprising at all.
They were not expecting that money at all.
No.
He can make any movie he wants now.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's awesome.
So he makes the next Green Lantern.
Maybe somebody will helm that and make it actually good.
Yeah, give it some time. Give it some time. Somebody will be okay with it.
Well, the problem with Deadpool 2 is the production budget is going to go up from 58 million to like 100 million, and that 50 million in between there will all go to Ryan Reynolds. So it's his salary from now on. You got to go with it.
You think so? He said he'd do it again, so
I think he'll do it again, but he's going to need more money.
yeah, probably. Eh? Who doesn't like money?
Nobody likes money. Money is a
I
bad
like
thing.
money.
No, I don't like money at all. Hate money. Terrible.
You can give your money to me then.
Well, that's the problem. I don't have any money to like. So there you go. All right, let's go ahead and move into our segment, which is Geek Wars. Let's do that.
What started out as a simple Facebook debate quickly turned into an expletive-filled off-air Skype battle between our hosts. It's time to settle this argument once and for all, and finally find out who is the bigger geek. It's time for Geek Wars.
Geek Wars. The Geek Wars.
Noises.
Geek Wars is the time that we find out who is the bigger geek. That's right. We're going to have a series of questions talking about all sorts of crazy things in the geek world, and we're going to find out who is the greatest geek. Are you guys ready?
Who was our last champion, Steven?
I don't know.
I think it was you, Mr. Man.
Probably was Chris.
It was Chris. It was Chris. We tried to even it out, but Chris.
Yeah.
Yes, it was
He
definitely Christine that came out with the
Christine
championship
destroyed
last
it,
time.
but
Oh, I see how it is now. Am I going to beat your sorry asses again?
I changed my mind. This is the 150th episode. Let's do something else.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the first annual GonnaGeek.com Podcast Awards for the GonnaGeek.com Podcast. You're in for a special treat tonight as we're about to recognize some of the fantastic talent that is a part of the GonnaGeek.com Podcast. Here's your host for the awards, Stephen Jondrew.
All right. All right, let's give these awards a shot here and see what we can figure out tonight. And I'll just, on the YouTube, adjust my collar here a little bit. But are you ready for the first annual GonnaGeek.com Podcast Awards for the GonnaGeek.com Podcast?
I can't believe you put a suit on.
I was panicking. I was like 3 feet to the right, mad dash. I couldn't do it fast enough. But yes, if you are watching the YouTube side of things, I do have some attempt at a monkey suit on right now, which is terrible. But yeah.
Nothing wrong with a monkey suit, man.
So we've got a variety of categories tonight because quite honestly, the way that I figure this for episode 150 of the GonnaGeek.com podcast, we are a bunch of talented podcasters, and quite honestly, I think that we deserve to be recognized. Do you agree with that statement?
Well, I have no talent, so I do not agree with that statement.
Well, Steven, I'm not sure I can be recognized because I didn't pay my registration fee.
That's the beautiful thing about the GonnaGeek.com podcast for awards for the GonnaGeek.com podcast is that there was a waived fee for the GonnaGeek.com podcast hosts.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, so you are in luck.
That's awesome, but I'm on the GonnaGeek.com show, so I'm not sure what kind of thing that we're doing here.
This is retroactive prior to show. So this is like for the previous year, right?
Oh,
okay.
Right. So before
like
we switched to show.
2015,
Yeah,
and then we're
exactly.
finally getting our
Something like
bonuses in the summer 6 months later. Okay.
Absolutely. All right. So look, should we just get to the first category, do you think? Should we?
Let's see the categories.
Okay. Well,
categorize that
There's
for
no
me, my
way
friend.
to actually avoid it at this point.
Categorize it, my
well,
friend. Categorize.
the first category that we've gonna get going on today is one that it's one that I think it's quite honestly used a lot during the show over the years, and it's one that I think well, let's just do it and see where it takes us. All right, in our first category, the award for the most face palms goes to Chris Ferrell!
Chris Ferrell has been a part of GonnaGeek.com since its inception. Chris's countless hours of hard work has paid off. Starting at the position of executive underwear folder, Chris now proudly carries the title of Vice President of Choreography.
It's flat. Yep. The logic is there. It's sound.
Yep. There, no, it makes lots of
I'm the fuddy-duddy who likes episode 1.
Did you not hear about my few
Corn being popped for the first time. It was amazing. Yet, Ted Cruz is an up and... I actually got the package today, and how did you know that I love baking soda?
Every time's my fault. It's always my fault. I love it.
All right, Chris. You won yourself the inaugural GonnaGeek.com podcast award for the GonnaGeek.com podcast.
Yes.
First category was indeed the most face palms on the GonnaGeek.com podcast.
I'm so happy.
Here's the thing, though, because one day we're going to talk about these great awards, and people are going to question us on it, and they're going to go, it is not legit, right? Because there were no awards given out. So in your honor, I have for you a trophy award for said category. So we'll just go ahead and put that up on my backdrop behind me there, and I'll keep that safe for you. Congratulations on your award there, Chris Ferrell.
I appreciate it. Thank you, everyone who voted for me. Thank you, everyone who graciously allows my face palms on this show. And thank you, JS, for providing me with face palming material.
And yes, audio listener, if you do check out the YouTube side of things, you will indeed see that, yeah, all that random audio you heard was actually just Chris face palming over and over and over and over.
That's great. Now we can join the ranks of the millennials because we're getting participation trophies. I like this.
Oh, snowflake. I want to be part of the snowflake generation. I'm offended by absolutely everything.
Yeah.
I'm offended that you're offended.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and slide into our second category, and we'll see what we've got in store for this one. That's right. For the second category, our award goes to the individual with the best casual promotion placement on the GonnaGeek.com podcast, Stargate Pioneer!
Passions of Stargate pioneers include audio engineering, space telescopes, and ridiculing famous astrophysicists. There is, however, one individual whom SP always agrees with, Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Well, I run a podcast on Marvel, on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's called Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. I will tell you, Chris, having done about 20 episodes or so of Longbox Edition, it will also be on the soon-to-be-released Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. number 84. So
There you go. You got award number 2. And if you couldn't tell in the little box, by the way, I encourage you to go back and watch it in 1080, because as he's getting the award for casual promotion placement on the GonnaGeek.com podcast, he was taking a sip out of his better podcasting mug. So, SB, congratulations on your award.
Thank you very much. I just want to thank all my co-hosts on all my podcasts. There's Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D., there's Starlight Tribune, Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. Long Box
Play the
Edition.
music, walk him off.
Better podcasting, and of course, GonnaGeek.com show. I want to just thank all my co-hosts, all my producers, all of the people that help make this possible. We really appreciate that across the GonnaGeek.com network, and then all of the other podcasts that I have guested on in the past year. There are
I keep going to the wrong screen, by the way, on the YouTube side of things. And force a habit here. You know, we keep going in and out of the awards, but would you like an award too?
Can I have the award for forgetting to press record when we started the podcast?
If we have that in category next year, I'm almost sure you're guaranteed to win.
If Chris gets an award, I just feel slighted if I don't get an award. I mean, oh, there we go.
So yes, I have another award for you here, SB, that again, I will keep it in good safety for you on the backdrop.
That's great. Can I get a golden sprayed ATR 2100 next time? I would love a golden ATR 2100.
You got to work your way up to Seacrest level on that one. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Seacrest!
All right. So there you go. That's going to wrap up the second award. I wonder what we've got in store for the third. Could it by chance be another individual on this very podcast? I'm not sure, but let's find out what we have for the third award. Here we go. Let's find out. That's right. For the third award, the award goes to the person with the most random conversation, sound, or gesture as Dr. JS.
JS is famous for his work in motion pictures such as I'm Not a Doctor, But That's Never Stopped Me Before, and Silence of the Bird. JS recognizes that his entire life is based on one key piece of advice: just the tip.
Banana peel pubic hair.
Jeff Goldblum watches you poop.
So there you go there, JS. You got the award for the most random conversation, sound, or gesture.
Unfortunately, the tip could not make it tonight.
By the way, as an FYI, just for the future, while these awards were being produced, the producers were kind enough to make sure that going forward, I was equipped with... We now have that on soundboard, ready to go at any notice. JS, you have reached the soundboard.
Have I reached the soundboard?
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
You can reach for the soundboard just while you're reaching for the tip.
Oh, you know who else reaches for the tip? Your mama.
Oh, all right.
20% or 17%? I mean, what's equitable and fair?
JS, here's the thing. I would not want you to be excluded. So, in your honor, I have an award for you right here as well, which again, I will keep safe because Canada Post mail is extraordinarily expensive and they will be staying in my house. So there you go.
It would take till next year to get it anyway.
So
yeah, pretty much.
We got 3 awards and I'm told that our final award is right around the corner. I'm curious.
It's for you.
I'm curious what we've got.
You.
I'm very interested. We'll find out. I don't know. Do you guys have any guesses?
I thought we might have a commercial break.
If it's just around the corner, is it Fox Books? FOX? You've got mail?
Seriously? All right. Let's just go ahead and find out what this award's about. The fourth and final award is the person that has the best ear-piercing singing on the official GonnaGeek.com podcast. It's me! Whoa!
Stephen Jondrew created the GonnaGeek.com website as a place for geeks to get their geek on. 4 years later, and Stephen is proud of the fact that the site offers a friendly environment that geeks of all walks of life can enjoy. almost as much as they enjoy Steven's mom.
22 minutes and 31 seconds, said Stargate Pioneer. So his track is that much bigger than the rest of us. It's the Stargate Pioneer big track song. Yeah! Do the googly goog, the googly goog. Yeah. The googly 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 gloog.
Totally just realized that they didn't hear the bumps all night. They don't hear them right now, except for on Spreaker. As I sing Spreaker, this is a bonus for you. Yeah. So there you go. That was the fourth award. And the final award of the night. What do you guys think about that?
Well deserved. We have a singing master in our midst, and I'm glad that he won that award.
I have an award for myself. Steven, here you go. You can have this. Oh, thank you, Steven. You shouldn't have. So, should we all give speeches? What do you think? We should start with JS. JS, give us a speech.
I think so.
I'm very proud and honored to receive this award. Like I said, the tip could not make it tonight, but I'm here, and that's it. Congratulations for all this. Oh, and I have to thank my agent, Vagina.
Really? That's
all the hard work she's put in.
Whoa, hold on. Breaking news here. The producer, wait, I'm holding my ear. That must mean that there's something legitimate going on being told to me as I sit here and I hold my ear that there's
from the Financial Nerve
There's
Center.
something going on telling me that there is another award, and well, let's find out what that award offers. That's right. This final award goes to the best podcast with a fun outro to dance to on the official GonnaGeek.com podcast. What? The winner is the official GonnaGeek.com podcast.
The GonnaGeek.com podcast is the flagship podcast of the GonnaGeek network. In 2015, they decided to break the audio format and introduce a fully produced video companion. One common piece of feedback heard since this introduction is, "Now I know what it means when they say you have a face for radio."
All right, so
we're gonna make millions by teaching people how to chair dance on their podcast.
We're gonna make I've already made millions.
And look, there's a fifth award which I will accept on behalf of the GonnaGeek.com podcast for the GonnaGeek.com podcast awards. So there you go.
I want that award.
We all cleaned up. We all cleaned up tonight. How do you guys feel?
So, Steven, I need you to do me a favor and keep that award of mine in a box in your office for me.
Okay.
No, man, it's got to be on the shelf every time we podcast now.
Oh, God.
I need mine filled with...
or did you rent them and you have to bring them back after?
I need mine filled with champagne, please.
Oh, the man's got a champagne glass.
By the way, in Geeks.live chat, they are saying that the yawn dance was the best. So there you go. Somebody had the yawn dance. I'm not sure who that was. I think it was JS.
Probably me. I'm an old man.
But now that you are award winners, let's take a moment here before we do walk out the podcast to say thank you to all of the fans for watching us over the last 150 episodes. A lot of fun. I know Stargate Pioneer, you've actually been here for a lot of them because you were the concurrent guest for a while. And I would like to thank all of the guests and everybody who's been on over the years, last couple of years, however long we've been doing this. It is terrific to have reached 150 episodes, and I know we'll be at 200 in no time because I've been told that Chris is going to be doing a new episode every day of the GonnaGeek.com podcast. That's what I was told.
That's correct. On my commute home, I'm going to put in the Bluetooth microphone and I'm going to podcast straight to Facebook.
I think that'll work. I was going to say twice daily, once on his drive to work and once on the way back. But in the morning, I'm not sure I could stand that awesomeness of Chris.
I can tolerate all the Chris in the world. All of the Chris.
All of it?
Yeah, I think I could.
Not just a little bit of it? All of it?
I think I could do all of it. I could definitely do all of it.
I'm up for all of Christine.
Well, it was a fun episode, and I hope that everybody enjoyed that. So we'll just get to our usual thing here now that we are award winners, and go around the table here and see what everybody would like to promote. Let's put it over to Chris here to talk first. Chris, what do you got going on?
I'm going to promote Stargate Pioneer because he has the best promoting skills in the network.
That's correct. That's correct. And you know
he
it.
won a damn award for it, okay?
He did.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So, SP, what would you like to promote?
I would like to promote my other podcast hosts on GonnaGeek.com show or podcast or whatever we're doing this time around. I think that you guys have been really fun to podcast. I really look forward to coming home on Monday and get my geek on and running through this stuff because it's been fun. So thank you very much for having me. Thank you very much for being co-hosts on this show. And most importantly, I would like to promote Steven because his innovations forward have allowed multiple shows on the network to really up their game in terms of video production that I don't think any of us really would have even considered before. So really all goes to Steven running the network, running the GonnaGeek.com podcast, GonnaGeek.com show. I think it's been great. So thank you very much, Steven. Thanks, Chris. Thanks, JS. And thank you to everybody that stepped in my seat too, since I've been a permanent host when I've been gone, because sometimes you just can't be there the whole time. So yeah, thank you to everybody that stepped in for me. I really appreciate it.
Well, that's very kind. I enjoy doing this as well, and lots of fun on a Monday, especially after some Mondays are quite crappy when you get to work and come back and do this. And JS, you got anything you want to promote?
I'm going to promote myself because I am Amazerballs.
That's very true. And I'm going to go ahead and promote all of the...
You're going to promote yourself too, because nobody can promote you.
I'm going to promote all of the great shows on the GonnaGeek Network, including In Defense Of, which is the brainchild of Keir Hansen, who was the one that did all of the voice work on Friday. I literally came up with this idea on Friday, emailed him, and he had it done in like 2 hours. So thank you very much for doing all of that voice work for the awards. It was a lot of fun, and I think that it turned out pretty well, so thank you so much. You had the perfect narration for the awards. Thank you very much. But that is indeed taking us to that final music that we all love to dance to. So for episode number 150 of the official GonnaGeek.com podcast, I'm an award-winning podcaster on an award-winning podcast.
And I'm Stargate Pioneer, and you can check me out at stargatepioneer.com.
And I'm winning next year's funny dance video.
Bye!
From everyone here at the GonnaGeek.com podcast, thanks for listening. If you like what you heard, please give us a 5-star review on iTunes. We encourage you to send your feedback by email to podcast@GonnaGeek.com. You can find all of our show history at GonnaGeek.com/official podcast. And while you're there, why not head over and check out all of the geeky podcasts on the GonnaGeek Network. The music heard on this show is by Kevin MacLeod of Incompetech.com. Thanks for listening, and we will see you again next week.